Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining again today. Today, I'm really super excited. I'm having a chat with the lovely Jirbie, who's not too far away from me. Actually, we're in the same time zone, so it's very unusual for me to speak to someone local almost. So, Jirbie, lovely to meet you. Thanks for coming on today.
Hello, David. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, you're very welcome. I always start off just by asking everyone the same old questions, but it's always interesting because I like to find out how everyone starts their aromatherapy journey. So how did you get into aromatherapy? What was the start of your journey?
Interesting question. Well, I think it all started because I've been rescuing stray animals here in the Philippines. So I'm an animal rescuer. I started in 2014. So when they started getting more and more, all of them are neutered, by the way, all of them are fixed. So when I started amassing more rescues, more strays, it triggered my asthma. It's something that I never knew I had. So I think it was about 2017, 3 years down the line of taking in stray pets, stray cats and dogs. Um, I got asthma, and I knew if I go to the doctor would just tell me to get rid of my cats, and I didn't want that. So for a time, I was very dependent on antihistamines. I have been popping it every single day because I cannot breathe. It was really a struggle every day. And then I was thinking, I have to figure out how I can go about this. This is my life now. I don't want to get rid of my pets. I love them. I sleep with some of them. And so I discovered and I found out about essential oils. I remember the first three oils that I got, it was lavender, peppermint, and lemon. And I diffused it. And I was so surprised. In a matter of minutes, my lungs were relieved. And I was so baffled, like how did this happen? And that's what got me into the rabbit hole, and that's what made me got so interested about essential oils and aromatherapy.
Okay, wow. How long ago was that? Was it quite a while ago now, or
In 2017, a
2017?
few years ago, 5 years ago.
5 years ago now. Wow, wow. And so from that discovery of self healing, so to speak, you went on to study locally
Yes.
in Manila. Yeah.
Oh no, I took up my foundations course from Jade School, the School for Aromatic Studies.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Um, in 2017, early on 2018, there were no essential oil companies here. It was so hard. For me as a student, it was so hard because I had to import everything. All my students' kit, I had to buy it from abroad, ship it over, pay the taxes, pay the shipping. It
Oh,
was so
really?
expensive. Yeah, it was
Oh,
a
wow.
struggle.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would have been quite challenging to just collect all the oils. I hadn't thought of that. I suppose I was quite spoiled, like going to Covent Garden, Neal's Yard kind of thing. But yeah, no, that would be quite. But you had no problems getting them in, no, getting them into the country.
um, So far, none, but I have some of my friends who studied from other schools. I heard that they paid exorbitant taxes to bring in the books,
Yeah.
the oils, the supplies. So, yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. So when doing your studies, was it a very long course that you had to undertake, or?
Oh, I finished mine in 10 months. So I finished 100 hours for level one. And since then, I've taken so many other courses from different schools because I also believe in having a better range of teachers, so I get a fuller picture of what aromatherapy is. So I've also studied some of Tisserand's courses. I've studied under Still Point Aromatherapy from Virginia Joy for animal aromatherapy. That's what I'm focusing on right now. And I've also taken other formulations and natural perfumery courses as well.
Okay. Oh, wow. So you've covered quite a lot in those 5 years. Sure. That's great. That's awesome. I love that. It seems to be once you get into aromatherapy, I think it kind of filters into, you get interested in other things, don't you? Like, as you said, perfumery or whatever, or even other
Yes.
practices, other massage kind of stuff. Did you study massage as well? Is that part of
Oh,
it?
at least for the Philippines, we don't really focus on massage. Like there's a but you can, of course, as an aromatherapist. I know for you guys, like for the people in Europe and UK, massage and aromatherapy go hand in hand, like pretty tightly, right? But
Yeah.
for the Philippines, since we don't really have like a school here, um, all of us would have to study from the States usually. Um, and I guess aromatherapy in the US is not really that tightly knit with massage, I feel
No,
like, versus from UK, right?
it's
So
different.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like we have more freedom here to discover or explore other facets of aromatherapy, not necessarily strictly for massage.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. I'm through meeting all the different aromatherapists from around the world. I like to hear how things are done differently in each country because I don't know fully myself of what's done what. So I think it's
Yes.
fascinating that that what you branch off in. So how do you practice now as an aromatherapist? Do you have your own clinic or do you go and see people or tell us a bit about how you do your work now as
Okay.
a aromatherapist?
So before the pandemic, I actually had a studio, and it is where I teach about formulations and essential oil safety. And I also do a lot of consulting with brands. So, like here, I have three local essential oil brands that I consult with, focusing on safety. So, like if they wanted to come out with a blend, I make sure that the values, the percentages are safe for everyone to use. And I also consult with beauty brands. Even before becoming an aromatherapist, I've already been consulting with brands, usually for beauty. So I think one of my first aromatherapy event I remember was with Kiehl's.
Mhm.
When it's an international beauty brand, right? So when they launched their hibiscus, I forgot the product, but it's a hibiscus face something. They got me to blend on site, and that was really fun. That was like one of my first aromatherapy events ever. It was really special.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, Kiehl's are quite a good company. They've got quite good products as well. So what I remember. So you use the skincare side of things that you're
Yes.
specializing in, if I could say that, or is that your kind of niche that you like
Yeah.
to work in?
When I got in aromatherapy, I wanted to focus on beauty formulations because, well, I come from I'm a third generation, I would say aesthetic specialist. I really don't know because I really don't know what to call it, but my grandmother is actually a um, beauty instructor in Canada. She has a beauty school there in Toronto.
Okay.
And
Oh
then
wow.
my mom is a pharmacist, a registered pharmacist here and an esthetician. So like beauty and formulations is something that I grew up with. And so with me, with my generation, I equipped myself with the knowledge of aromatherapy. I am starting to like move it into a more natural kind of beauty formulations versus them. Like they know all of those additives and traditional beauty chemicals, but I've diverted the focus on botanical beauty, botanical formulation.
Okay. Oh
So
wow, that's
mhm.
awesome. So have you been able to collaborate with your family on different things, or has it been an interesting experience? Especially coming from a more traditional medical you know um, beauty background, I suppose. Have you been able to work together with them?
Yes, always with my mom. Like I have two brands, Caticorn Dreams and Caticorn Pets. Caticorn Dreams is more of the lifestyle for humans, and Caticorn Pets is more for pet wellness or pet care. Like we have some products that I've collaborated with my mom. I also used to have this other brand that I collaborated with my grandmother. Um, but that's gone now, so I will not mention that anymore. So right now we have Caticorn Dreams and Caticorn Pets. So like a lot of the things that I do are put on those two brands.
Okay. Okay. So you, with the pet side of things, is it like aromatherapy for animals? Wow. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes,
That's fascinating.
yes. So that is what I've been focusing on in the past. Actually, over the pandemic, I started taking up a lot of aromatherapy courses. I took up like the course from Colleen Kin and another from Northwest School of Aromatic. medicine or something like that, NW Sam. And then another from, I'm also picking up the course, animal course of Virginia Joy Musakio, but that was pushed on until next year. So I wanted to focus on animal aromatherapy because it's something that's unheard of here in the Philippines right now. And since I have a lot of rescues, I actually have over 55 cats in our house.
Oh,
I have
really?
13. Yeah. I have 13 of them here in the room. A lot of them are sleeping. So if you hear them from time to time, I'm sorry, but they like to be part of my interviews usually.
Bring them on.
And
Bring them on. I love it, animals. Yeah, yeah, please do.
and I have one rescued greyhound. So I just got him last year, I think, just over the pandemic as well. So I've been really focusing on developing animal aromatherapy products, like using a lot of hydrosols primarily. So I've been reading and learning so much more about hydrosols in the past 2 years because we don't really use essential oils that much with cats especially. So my focus is actually for feline care. So yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So how does the greyhound get along with the felines?
Oh, okay. So this greyhound is like 24 kilos. He's really tall and huge, and these cats are really brutal. They
Oh,
bump his head. These
really?
cats are really notorious. Yeah,
Oh, brilliant.
they act like they own the place.
I bet they do, especially that amount that you've got there. Wow. Oh, that's awesome. How do you treat your pets? Is it with just through inhalation with them, or do you massage them? Because I know that the animal massage is a thing. I don't know
Yes.
about it myself, but I have met some people along my travels that do specialize in animal massage as a therapy for pets. So, yeah, do you do that as well?
Oh, yes. So I'm not really trained with animal massage right now, but most of the cats that I rescue, of course, since they are rescued, a lot of them have had trauma. So you can see their the way they act, they have trauma, and they use a lot of hydrosols with that. I tried using flower essences with them, but I see more um, I would say effect with hydrosol so far. Or maybe it's because I just haven't really gotten my feet deep enough with essences, flower essences right now. But I use a lot of hydrosols. My greyhound, he got here with when we rescued him. He arrived here in the Philippines. We got him from Qatar, so we flew him in.
Okay.
So when he arrived, he actually had a dislocated hip, left side. His hip joint is dislocated. So I do. I do a little massage, but I know it's not like the full therapy kind, but I do a little massage. I spray a little hydrosol in a like face towel and leave it beside him. And then I talk to him and I sometimes sing to him just to make him feel at home. Because, I can just imagine the flight coming over to the Philippines and then, being in a new area, being in a new space. It's so stressful for him. He was an abused dog. So he used to be a race dog in Qatar. His previous owner got so, I don't know, bored with him or tired with him, left him for dead. And so other Filipino animal rescuers in Qatar found him, fostered him, cared for him, and then it. I actually work with these for Filipino rescuers in Qatar, and it took months. No one would want to adopt him, and so I think it was like 6 months that of him being in the foster care. No one still wanted him, and in foster homes, the space is very limited. So I decided, okay, I'll get him because he's too huge. I bet he's like eating a lot of the food portions there. So the foster home is really struggling. And so I said, okay, I'll take him. I'll take care of him. So we flew him in and now he's here.
Oh, that's beautiful. What a story. Oh, I love that. Oh,
Thank
that's really
you.
sweet. Has he adapted? Has he adapted well into your
Yes.
home? Like, he's not problematic or anything.
Yes, he's a lot better now. Even our helpers, our nanny here would tell me, about his name is Balto. Balto has changed. His personality has shown. He has opened up. When he first got here in his first 3 months, I hired a trainer, a dog trainer, because I really didn't know how to handle dogs. I'm very adept with cats, but with dogs, I don't really know how to handle them. So I hired the trainer. The trainer gave up after 3 days because he said, he's so closed up. Balto is so closed up. He's so scared of me, and I can't train him. Nothing is like coming over. Communication is not really there because he's still so scared. And so it took maybe 10 months of like walking him. I myself, I've been walking him, talking to him, singing to him, giving quality time and massage. I think that's what every traumatized animal needs, right? Just to feel connected to someone and to gain their trust and confidence. And now he's a lot happier dog. Like now I see him run around and
Oh,
have his own beautiful life here.
oh, that's wonderful. That's really, really sweet. Oh, I love that. That's a great story. So, and all of the animals have adapted well to the aromatherapy. Um, or some
Yes.
get away. I don't like that oil.
Oh,
Or,
I'm
you know.
I'm very careful of using essential oils with my cats. I generally don't. Even if I don't even use like essential oils here in my room. I'm an aromatherapist, but I'm banned to use my oils here in my room because I have so many cats. So if I wanted to diffuse, I go to my like washroom and I have like an exhaust there. So that's pretty safe for myself. If I wanted to diffuse, like if I wanted to decongest or something, like I go there. That's my personal space. My room is like basically usually open air, but still I just wanted to take precautions. And usually with my cats, I use a lot of hydrosols, really, just hydrosols. Like the best things that I discovered in using with my cats is using my catnip hydrosol. So whenever they get riled up, and like usually they'll just be around sleeping, but sometimes they just come together and fight, and you see all of these fur coming out of them because they're just fighting. I get my catnip hydrosol, spray it in my face towel, and just leave it there. And I see them in an instant, like in 2 seconds, they're rolling over,
Oh wow.
doing their thing.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that.
Problem solved.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, that's really cool. That's something I've never heard of before, so I'm really interested in that. That's very fascinating. So, with the not to digress, but with these skincare side of things, do you specialize in anything particular? Is it like facial oils or cream or scrubs or balms or a bit of everything that you? What do you
Oh,
play with?
well, as beginners, of course, we started with face oils. I feel that that's the easiest, right? And
Yeah.
then, of course, started with balms and salves. But now my favorite is making my own lotion, my emulsion. So I have one. I have this anti-mosquito lotion that everybody loves because lately I've been also trying to go outdoors. I'm not really kind of a hiking kind of girl or camping kind of girl, but lately I did. I just wanted to check the outdoors and walk in the forest because I got so jealous of people talking about forest bathing. I was born and raised in the city. I'm a very much of a city girl. Like me being in the forest is something very, very scary for me. But this year, I told myself, I wanted to try that. People have been talking about it. I wanted to try that. So 2 weeks ago, I scheduled my own hiking trip. I went with two friends. We went to this waterfall hike. It was so difficult. It wasn't for beginners, but I enjoyed. It was like a 40-minute hike that you had to do rappelling. It wasn't for beginners, I swear. But I took on the challenge and enjoyed it. And then, in that trip, I brought my anti mosquito lotion, which I formulated with aloe vera oil, eucalyptus oil, eucalyptus essential oil. What else did I put in there? I used this citronella peppermint hydrosol that the Filipino farmer gave me to try,
Okay.
and then I formulated it into an anti or an outdoor lotion and gave it to my friends. Oh, it was really good. I mean, the Philippines, especially at this time, is very mosquito infested. It's the monsoon season. It's the rainy season, so mosquitoes are coming out of their haven at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So we used it. Oh, it was really good. It was really effective. So Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I always give it away to friends. And I also have other like face creams, but the mosquito lotion is like my favorite. It works every time.
You'll have to give me the recipe of that, or I can try and
I
buy it.
will.
I'll look from you. I mean that because it's the same here. It's mosquito season at the moment, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
bet.
yeah. I've got a over the bed is a net, like we sleep in a tent basically, because
Same here. Yes.
yeah, otherwise you just get attacked all through the night, and that's the most annoying
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'll talk to you later about that. Oh, brilliant. So what are some of your favorite oils?
Oh, well, my favorite, it differs depending on when you'd ask me. Like, for example, 3 years, not 3 years, 3 months ago, I would probably tell you, oh, my favorite is ilang ilang because I was so engrossed with ilang ilang that time. Maybe 6 months ago, I would tell you it's LME. But right now, I'm really drawn towards sniffing spruce and hinoki.
Okay, nice.
Hinoki leaf, not hinoki wood. So hinoki leaf and spruce. I guess it's because I have a project right now wherein I have to concoct this signature scent for a spa outside Metro Manila, and their theme was Japanese. So I've been really immersing myself with a lot of these Japanese themed oils, and I really fell in love with hinoki. I've also been dabbling with yuzu and Japanese maca, which is like Japanese mint. In that journey of finding a signature scent for them. So right now, I'm really gravitated towards hinoki leaf specifically.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like how it opens up my lungs. It instantly gives me like a happy vibe in the morning, especially now it's always rainy and cloudy in the Philippines. A whiff of that hinoki leaves like it's gonna be a good day.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's one of my favorite woods, hinoki or hiba. Very
Oh, yes.
very similar. Hinoki hiba, but they're one of my favorite wood oils. So I can totally understand why you gravitate towards that. That's for sure.
How about you, David? What's your favorite oil right now?
I'm like you. I kind of go in phases depending on the season as well. I would have always said Hiba is one. Vetiver is probably my all-time favorite. Um,
Wow.
the kind of real earthy flavor
Yeah.
I like. But I also really have gotten into, and I never used to like citruses. I never used to, but now I'm starting to really like them. The older I'm getting, must be my nose or something, or must be the hot weather. I'm craving
Yeah.
citrus and cleansing stuff. I've really enjoyed citruses where I never used to. I was like, well, orange and Camarisi, and I was like, nah, no. But now I actually really like it. So yeah.
Oh, it's the opposite for me. I'm more of a citrus girl, and everybody knows that. I am always like full of energy. Whenever I talk to someone, I'm like so hyped up. Sometimes when I talk to Gabriel, he would say, Jirbie, we're gonna be calm today. Because I'm just so excited. Um, and I'm like the type of girl who's like more into citrus, but and I don't really like the earthy ones. Like I hate, not hate, but I veer away from vetiver and patchouli. But
Okay.
now I come to learn to love them, especially when I'm so hyper. Like, oh my god, I need my my dose of cedarwood. Let's start with cedarwood and then escalate to patchouli. Okay, vetiver and vanilla is good. Okay, I'm good now.
So how about ones that you don't like or not really a fan of? Do you have any oils that you're a bit of?
I feel that I haven't really like wrapped myself around thyme. I don't really
Okay.
like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, thyme. Thyme. I really don't like the smell of. I think that's like the first thing that I could think of. Aside from maybe, well, I don't like before vetiver and patchouli before, but no, as I've said, I've come to like it, especially when it's with another oil. I don't really like it on its own, but when you mix it with something like a conifer or for example, something like with the resin oil, then it's more bearable for me. So right
Okay.
now, thyme on its own or blended, I don't really like it. How about you?
It's strong. It isn't. At times very strong.
Yeah.
I know it's part of the same family, Damiana. I love Damiana.
Oh,
So give that one a try. I find it very similar to thyme, but a lot nicer. It's hard to describe, it's aroma. So try and look that one up if you're not familiar with Damiana. It's lovely. It's very
I'll
similar
check
to
that out.
thyme, very similar, but it's nice. It's a lot more.
Oh,
I don't know. I really get drawn to that one. So it'd be interesting to see what you think. But I know with time it can be a bit heavy. It can be a bit,
yeah.
you do have to blend it down. I totally agree. Totally agree like that. So yeah, apart from that, there's probably some that I'm just a bit, with like, I don't love rose. I know that's controversial,
Oh,
but I love the flower. I love roses. But I don't necessarily love the
the
oil so
oil.
much.
Mm.
But then again, I used to feel the same with ylang ylang. Now I like it. So, now I really like it. So maybe I will learn to, as I age, get into rose
Yeah,
again.
you will learn to love it. I used to hate rose as well. When I was like in my early 20s, I feel like rose. I have an aunt who loves rose and she would always smell like rose and I hated it because it smells for me like an old lady. I'm sorry for for those who love rose, but it was just my perception at that time. But now I feel that I've become more accepting to it. Especially I have like a rose plant outside. I mean, in
Yeah.
our front yard, and I've been tending to it in the past 2 years. I've grown to love rose. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's exactly. I think rose reminds me of a synthetic perfume that maybe
Hmm.
some of my relatives, like my grandmother, had when I was, quite young, and it sort of turned me off. It's like that old spice kind of smell. I don't
Same.
know what it is, but I'm sure there is something back in the 70s or something in the 80s that was very popular.
Yeah.
I can't. I'll message you. I'll message everyone when I figure out what it is. But I think that's what it is. It was just like reminds me of not in a good way. I love my grandmother. Don't get me wrong, but it's
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love my aunt. I love my auntie. But it's just yeah, it's true because oils, essential oils, scent would trigger memories or feelings. Yeah, not necessarily like related to the person, but evoke certain emotions, right?
yeah. Exactly. Totally agree. Totally agree. And so, Jirbie, you are also, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not going off notes here. You're involved with the Amir Institute. Is that right? Amir Institute
Oh,
with
what do you?
the Amir Institute. Is it?
Oh, Aaron. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. With
Sorry, that's
Kelly.
my pronunciation. Sorry, everyone. But, yeah. Amir, you're
Oh, it's
involved
the
with.
internet. Don't worry.
You do some work with them, is that correct? About sustainability of oils in your area?
Yes, that is true. So I am the Philippine ambassador for Airmid. I think I got in touch with Kelly because of Gabriel, and he referred me to Kelly because I was doing a lot of research about LME here. I think 2 years ago or last year, and yeah, so I met Kelly, and then she said, "Oh, what you're doing is exactly what we need and what we are doing." So I became the Philippine ambassador. I work with a lot of farmers here in the Philippines, not just for LME. In fact, I've also like met up with um, cultivators, distillers, and producers of lemongrass, of citronella, anything and everything that they grow in the Philippines. I'm very interested to meet up with them, like check how they do things, how they process it, how they distill it. It's always so fascinating for me because when I started my aromatherapy journey in 2017, 2018, there was none. I felt so alone. And when I was studying, it was like, it was so hard. It's like a big puzzle piece that I can't seem to put anywhere because there's none. And now that I see farmers, people who resigned from their corporate work to become a farmer and cultivate the land and grow their rosemary or grow ilang ilang. Oh my God, I met this ilang ilang farmer, and at first of course, they don't really know much about hydrosols and stuff. So I would always be there to tell them, oh, you know what? You can actually bottle those and let us use it. And I would educate them on the uses. Like before, when I first met up with this farmer of rosemary up in the north of the Philippines, he would tell me, I just throw all of those waters away because I really didn't know what to do with it. And so I'd educate them.
Okay.
No, actually, you can bottle them up and we'd buy it from you. We use them. I use them for my lotion formulations.
Okay.
And that is how some of the farmers now they sell hydrosols. It's one of my advocacies early last year to educate people more about hydrosols. I feel that it's an untapped resource.
Mhm.
Especially me, I've been using hydrosol for my animals, right? And I feel that a lot of moms who would have younger kids would benefit from it. A lot of the elderly people would benefit from it versus versus people focusing so much about essential oils alone. Because in the past 2 3 years, have been an immense increase of essential oil users here in the Philippines. And, I wanted to present this other aromatic plant products that they can use.
Mhm.
That's also as nice, as effective, and we produce it in the Philippines. So that's what I've been focusing on, educating the farmers, telling them, sharing with them like what are the things that's being done abroad, trying to reapply best practices, making sure that their processes are sustainable, especially with LME. So I've talked to maybe three um, private growers of LME tappers, and now they have more streamlined processes
Okay.
versus like versus I would say 10 years ago, 5 years ago, there are no organizations or groups that would monitor them or educate them, train them the right way of tapping, even making everything traceable, like putting numbers on the tree to make sure that they are not overtapped, periodically checking on the tree, cleaning the tree, maintaining them. So all of those things, so many things,
Oh, that
fun
sounds
things.
awesome! Wow, well, that's a very honourable thing to do in our profession. So I think that's really cool. That's
Yes,
awesome,
of
Jirbie.
course. Well, David, I wanted to invite our listeners, our audience, to please visit. I'm actually working with Trade Shoots to open the first aromatherapy certification school here in the Philippines, um, in the goal of making it more accessible to the Filipinos. All the challenges that I've experienced 5 years ago, I wanted to make sure that the new generation of Filipino aromatherapists would have a better time, an easier time, learning, accessing credible information about essential oils. And so Jade and I have partnered up, and we're about to launch the Philippine Aromatherapy School. It's called Aromatherapy Institute of the Philippines. So it's www.aromainstituteph.com. And it's uh, an aromatherapy certification course specifically for Filipinos. We are patterned after the curriculum of trade school, but I added a few modules focusing on the aromatics from the Philippines. So I think that's very special. It's for the Filipinos by a Filipino. So yeah, if any Philippine-based aromatherapists who are listening, or if you're interested, like anyone who's listening is interested to learn aromatherapy from us, please visit our website www.aromainstituteph.com.
Oh, fantastic, Jill. I'll pop that on the screen here. I'll pop it
Yes.
below, and in the comment section, I'll leave it there as well. So, and also, can I leave your other social media details in case people want to get in touch with you as well?
Yes, please. So for anyone who wanted to get in touch with me, you can just search for Couch Wasabi. It's like couch potato, but wasabi. So Couch Wasabi, one word. It's like a name that I've had since 2008. So I didn't even bother to change it.
I
And it's
love
a
it.
nice conversation piece, I feel like.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, so in any social media platform or Google it up, you'll find me. Just search for Couch Wasabi.
Cool. I'll pop that there as well.
Thank you.
Oh, Jimmy, thank you so much for your time today. It was wonderful speaking with you. It was really, really great. And I found out a whole bunch of new things, which I love. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, David. The pleasure is mine.
Thanks, Jirbie. Take care.
Bye.